All right, ladies and gentlemen, baseball is back, and what could be a better time than to do a starting pitchers tier list than at the beginning of the baseball season? We're all starting off fresh. Everyone has a clean slate. We're going to be ranking the best starting pitchers. This tier list here, I believe, has pretty much the best starting pitchers in the league, all represented, I believe. I think everyone's here. And then what we're going to do something that we did for the football season, which was we rank each position in their own tier list. So we're going to do other positions, their own tier list in future videos at the beginning of the year. Then we'll do a mid-season tier list, maybe for the All-Star break for baseball. And then at the end of the season, just to see how much better or worse each position or each player at each position has gotten. So we're going to do our preseason or at the beginning of the season starting pitchers tier list. Definitely comment your opinions, guys, and let's, without further ado, get started on this list. So basically, the 4 tier lists are certified ace, which is the cream of the crop, best of the best that there are. Then ace, which is, look, you're really good. You're an ace, okay? And then good, but not elite, which really just means you're a really good pitcher. This just means compared to the other pitchers here. Remember, these are the best pitchers, so we're just comparing them to each other, not the rest of the pitchers, not just any pitcher in baseball. So I would say if you're in this tier, you're a really good pitcher. And then needs some work still means you're a good pitcher, but you need some work. You're not one of the better ones. You're not elite. You're not even extremely good. You're not great, but you're solid. You have potential and blah, blah, blah. So let's just start with the random order that we're presented. We're going to start with Eduardo Rodriguez. Even though he's in a Red Sox hat, he is on the Tigers. I'm going to say he's good, but not elite. What I do like about Eduardo Rodriguez is he's a true starting pitcher. In today's day and age, he will take on that full workload, throw 100+ pitches every start once everyone's built up, of course, because they aren't so far. But yeah, he's on the Tigers. I think he's going to have a good year in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, and he gets a ton of strikeouts. So I'm going to say he's good, but not elite. Alek Manoah, talk about the potential of this young man. He's going to be great for years to come. But at the beginning of this season, because he only has 1 season under his belt, and he didn't even pitch for his entire rookie year. I think he was called up in May or June. I could easily see him being an ace or certified ace in the near future, maybe at mid-season. But right now, I'm just going to say good but not elite. But the potential's there, though. He's going to be elite. I almost guarantee it. That strikeout rate, the ERA is really good. I mean, he just needs a little bit more of a sample size. But I really like him. Frankie Montas, he's been the victim of many, many trade rumors. And I think he will get traded at some point because the A's are completely tearing it down. Is he an ace or is he good but not? I'm going to say he's good but not elite. Obviously, he had the 1 suspension, but since he's come back, he's been really good. Has he been? You know, I might need to look at some other pitchers. Maybe I'll move Montas up because he's put up some really good numbers. Justin Verlander was a certified ace, but because he missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery, and we just don't know how good he's gonna be this year now that he's 39 years old, I still think he'll be really good. He was definitely a certified ace 2 years ago, but I will just put him at ace for now, just out of the respect. This is JV. Come on, he's a future Hall of Famer. He's won 2 Cy Youngs and an MVP, so definitely deserves to still be in the ace conversation. Sandy Alcantara, one of the more underrated pitchers in baseball because he does pitch for the Marlins. But don't forget, this guy is a true workhorse pitcher, and he just doesn't allow runs. He's great. I think he's an ace. I mean, he's been the Marlins ace. I think he's started 3 straight opening days, and he can take on. He's one of the few pitchers who had 200 innings last year. I love when pitchers, you know, are used a lot. They pitch a ton of innings. I really like that, and I think that's a really good quality to have. Speaking of pitching a ton of innings, we have Walker Buehler, who is the ace of my Dodgers officially now that he has started opening day, and Walker Buehler just does everything well. I don't think there's any doubt that he's a certified ace. I think he's a top 5 starting pitcher in baseball. I think, okay, this is just my opinion. I think he should have won the Cy Young last year over Corbin Burns. I know you might hate me on that, but you can compare their numbers. They're similar, but what isn't similar is how much more Walker Buehler pitched than Corbin Burns. He pitched more than 40 innings more than Corbin Burns, and I think they should reward volume and consistency. And of his 33 starts, didn't miss a single start last year. He pitched 27 quality starts. Consistency, volume, and great stuff. I love Walker Buehler, easily a certified ace. Then we have Shane Bieber, who was definitely a certified ace coming into last year, but he got injured kind of for the first time last season, but I don't think it matters. I still think he's a certified ace. He's another one of those pitchers who's going to give you a ton of innings. He has the full workload. He'll pitch he'll pitch 100+ innings most starts. So I really like that quality, and he's got great stuff. Easily the ace in Cleveland. Framber Valdez, I'm going to say he's good but not elite. I think the Astros have a lot of these pitchers where they're very, very good pitchers, maybe close to all-star quality, but they're not aces, not the cream of the crop. Not elite, but really good. Then we have Lucas Giolito. This one's tough because he's easily at least an ace. Is he a certified ace? Or is he I want to see a little bit more out of him. I think he's an ace right now. He's obviously has great stuff, great strikeout rate. I think he's the best starting pitcher on the White Sox. Yeah, I would say he's the best. But maybe I want to see a little bit more maybe in the playoffs. I want to see maybe 1 or 2 more years. I want to see his ERA be a little bit better than it is because considering his stuff, I think his ERA should be low 3s, high 2s. Right now, last year's kind of mid 3s, so I want to see a little bit more out of that before I can call him a certified ace, but he's really, really good. Then we have another ace, I think, in Lance Lynn. If Giolito's the ace, he can be the 1A, and Lance Lynn can be the 1B because he's phenomenal. Workhorse, old school pitcher, gotta love it. Shohei Ohtani, okay. Talent-wise, obviously, he's got certified ace talent. He's the former MVP. He's taken the league by storm. I think he's the best overall player in baseball. But because, to me, volume matters a lot. How much you pitch matters. And I don't think he's pitched enough to be a certified ace, and he hasn't pitched a playoff game or anything, so I will put him in the I'll put him in the ace tier because of his incredible stuff. The ERA is great, the strikeout rate, I mean, he just throws gas, incredible off speed, just a great pitcher and great player. Obviously, this is Shohei we're talking about. Then we have Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is a certified ace. I don't want to hear anything about the sticky stuff. I don't want to hear anything about the wild card game. This dude has been phenomenal. Top 5 pitcher the last 4 or 5 years, and I don't know how he hasn't won a Cy Young yet. Maybe he'll win one this year, but no doubt a certified ace. Corbin Burns, the reigning Cy Young winner, a certified ace for sure. I mean, you win a Cy Young, I think you're pretty much a certified ace, I would say. Then we have Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom always gets hurt, and it sucks, but if you don't think Jacob deGrom's a certified ace, I'm going to need to call someone and get you some help immediately because he is a certified ace. Next, we have Max Scherzer, and it looks like we're going to have 4 straight certified aces because this is just no doubt. Max Scherzer is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Future Hall of Famer, 3 Cy Youngs, still has it at age 37. Just an incredible pitcher, obviously. Brandon Woodruff, is he a cert? I'm going to put him at ace. I think Corbin Burns is a little bit better and a little bit higher of a tier than Brandon Woodruff, but he's an incredible pitcher. Definitely an ace. Definitely a top or a number 1 or number 2 pitcher on a playoff team for sure. Zach Wheeler, he had a phenomenal year last year. He pitched like a certified ace, but last year was really his first great year, and he did decline a little bit down the stretch. So in my personal opinion, I don't think he's at the level of these guys, but he's a great pitcher, and I love that he's a workhorse. I told you, I always love workhorse pitchers, so I will put him as an ace. Julio Urias, he could be a dark horse Cy Young candidate this year, and last year he went from being maybe a starting pitcher. Is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be able to handle that workload? To no, he's a definite starting pitcher, definite ace. He was phenomenal, led the league in wins last year with 20, but I don't think he's a certified ace yet. I just don't think he's been a starting pitcher for long enough, but this year he could make that jump, definitely, but I will put him as an ace. Logan Webb had a breakout year last year. Trust me, I know, as a Dodgers fan who had to face him twice in the playoffs, he mowed us down 2 different games. He was phenomenal. He's not a certified ace yet because last year, kind of like Urias, last year was his first large sample size of a season, first great year. Before that, he wasn't very good. So I would put him as an ace, though. I think he's definitely the best pitcher on the Giants staff at this moment. Aaron Nola, he was an ace, maybe even a certified ace a couple years ago, but he's kind of had a rough go of it the last couple years. I mean, he's kind of, he has the stuff of an ace. But look, those numbers, I mean, his ERA was like 4.6 last year. I'm going to put him in good but not elite at this moment, but I could see him having a great bounce back year and being an ace. Freddie Peralta, is he an ace? I would say so. I think the Brewers have 3 aces. So, I mean, Freddie Peralta had a great year last year as well, and the strikeout stuff's incredible. The ERA was great. I think he's definitely an ace. Chris Sale, he was a certified ace a while ago, but he's just been so injury prone recently. Hasn't had a full season since 2017. You know, I'm going to put him in good but not elite, only because if you're not going to pitch, how can you still be an ace? Like, Verlander missed last year, but he was fully healthy in 2019 and 2018. Chris Sale wasn't fully healthy in 2018, 19, 20, 21. Last 4 years, when you haven't had that sample size, you're going to slip down. So he hopefully comes back soon. Hopefully he comes back in June. And hopefully at some point he proves that he's once again an ace, but he just hasn't pitched recently, so I can't put him there. Joe Musgrove, he had a really good year last year. Surprisingly, I don't think anyone thought he would be the Padres' best pitcher last year, or starting pitcher. I want to put him in good, but not elite. I don't think Joe Musgrove's an ace. I think he's got a ton of talent, and he threw a no-hitter last year, and I think he can have another great year, but at this moment, I would not say he's an ace. Dylan Cease, he's someone that people like as a dark horse Cy Young in the AL because of that incredible strikeout rate. He's got great stuff. He's young. But last year, he didn't put up ace-like numbers in terms of run prevention. I'm talking about ERA. But I think he can make that jump this year. Maybe at mid-season, he will be an ace. But right now, I will say he's good, but not elite. All right, then we have Trevor Rogers, who is another reason why the Marlins might surprise some people this year, because they have multiple great starting pitchers, or at least very good starting pitchers. He had a phenomenal year last year, but he didn't have the full season workload. I think he was somewhere in the 120, 30 inning range last year, but he was great. I think he can be an ace. He's still very young. I'm going to put him in good, but not elite, but I could see him making that jump this year. Robbie Ray was really bad for several years after Arizona, because his control problems were just horrible. Could not find the strike zone, was walking a ton of people, but last year he was phenomenal. He was the best pitcher in the AL, and he surprised all of us by deservedly winning the Cy Young Award. He was great. His strikeout stuff, his arsenal in general is ridiculous. Is he a certified ace? I think I'm going to need to see one more year. If he has a great year this year, I will say that. But when I just look at the 6 guys in certified ace, I don't see Robbie Ray in that exact category. But he might be the best pitcher in the ace tier. But he is phenomenal. I mean, I think he's going to have another great year. And probably by the All-Star break, I will be confident that he's a certified ace, because he did look great yesterday in his Mariners debut. Jack Flaherty was an ace a couple years ago, but he's going through some injury problems right now. So I'm going to put him in good, but not elite, but I could easily see him being an ace once he gets back, but he has a little bit more to prove to get there. Pablo Lopez, really good. I'm going to put him in good, but not elite. Another really good Marlins starter. They have 3 really good starters. Steven Strasburg annoys me because he's always injured, and I drafted him 2 years in a row in my fantasy team the last 2 years, and he let me down, but I'm kidding. He can't control his injuries. I feel really bad for him, obviously. He's obviously an ace, probably a certified ace when he pitches, but when does he pitch? So I'm going to put him in good, but not elite for now, because again, right now, we're talking about right now, and if he's not going to pitch, he can't be an ace. He's kind of lost that role. Hyun-Jin Ryu, might have been an ace in 2019, his last year with the Dodgers, and the pandemic-shortened year in 2020, but last year he was not very good. So we'll see, but I'm going to put him in good, but not elite. He is very good. We'll see, though. He can reclaim that, and then he has his teammate Kevin Gausman next up, who's still wearing the Giants hat. Kevin Gausman was very average at best for years and years in Baltimore, and then he went to the Giants last year, and the first half of the year, he was probably the best pitcher in the NL. Declined a little bit towards the end of the year, the second half of the year, but the Blue Jays gave him a pretty big-size contract. He pitched like an ace in the first half, not in the second half. I personally don't think I think Kevin Gausman has to do a little bit more than just one incredible half season to prove that he's an ace, so I will put him in good, but not elite. Tyler Glasnow has some of the nastiest stuff in baseball, but he's always hurt and has never had a full great season. So I'm going to have to, okay, this is an exception. I will put Tyler Glasnow in the ace tier only because when he pitches, he's so phenomenal, and he gets the full workload once he pitches. He pitches 100+ innings. We saw that in the 2020 playoffs. He's easily the Rays ace when he's healthy, and he just has ridiculous stuff, maybe the nastiest stuff in all of baseball. So when he comes back, I think the Rays are going to kind of work him back slowly, but I think he's an ace. To put Tyler Glasnow, considering his talent, his capability, just his entire pitching arsenal, to put him in the good but not elite tier, I think would be disrespectful, so I will put him in the ace tier. Then we have John Means, who I think is better than his numbers. Obviously, I think he puts up pretty good numbers, but the fact that he's on the Orioles gets zero attention or spotlight whatsoever, never makes any headlines, but this guy threw a no-hitter, and that ballpark's just terrible for pitching. So I feel bad for him. He's not an ace, but I'll put him in good but not elite. Yeah, but he's a really good pitcher. I think he's underrated for sure because he's on the Orioles, and that ballpark's miserable to pitch in. But they did move the outfield back a little bit, so we'll see how that correlates to his performance this year. That's to be determined. Then we have Luis Castillo. He's also the victim of some trade rumors. He's had some good. He's had moments where he's looked really good, maybe like an ace. But I'm going to say he's good but not elite. I don't think he's an ace. I think recently he hasn't pitched his best, so that's to be seen. Jose Barrios, is he an ace? I think he will be. But he's got a little bit more to prove to me. I don't think he's in the tier of the aces, but he could be very close. I think at the All-Star break, I want to see more out of him because the Twins, the last couple years, he's been good. The strikeout stuff's really good. I really like him. I think he's a really good pitcher, but we'll see. I don't think he's an ace. I mean, or at least in this tier, the ace tier, you know what I mean? So, Charlie Morton, he's getting up there in age, but you know what? He's still really, really good. I wouldn't say he's an ace. I would say he's good, but not elite. Then we move on to Carlos Rodon, who is a Giant now. It's going to be tough as a Dodger fan because we don't do well against left-handed pitching, much less very good left-handed pitching. And he had a really good run, especially in the first half of the year last year as a White Sox. I think he's got to do a little more to be an ace. I'm going to put him in good, but not elite. Chris Bassett was phenomenal last year in Oakland, and he's been so solid for a couple of years now. And I think he has ace stuff. He was an all-star, but he's another guy that I think is good but not elite. I don't think he's in that ace tier. Then we have Logan Gilbert, who's on this tier list, I guess, just out of pure potential. He's got a ton of potential. He was a top prospect for the Mariners last year. Kind of disappointing as a rookie. I could see him having a breakout year this year, but I'm going to put him, he's going to be the first to be in the needs some work category because he hasn't proven that he's a great pitcher in the big leagues yet. I think he'll get there. The numbers haven't been great, but look, the potential's there. He needs some work. He hasn't done enough to even be in the good but not elite tier, in my opinion. Ian Anderson had a phenomenal 2020 rookie year in the shortened season. Last year, he was still very solid, but didn't make the jump that I think a lot of people thought he would. Maybe had a little bit of a sophomore slump, but again, he's only 23 years old. That potential's incredible. He could easily be the Braves' best pitcher this year. I don't think he's quite an ace yet. I think he will be. I'm going to put him in good but not elite. Nathan Eovaldi, he might be the Red Sox ace right now, but I don't think he's in this ace tier. I think he's in the good but not elite tier. I think he's got great stuff, but I don't think the numbers show me that he's quite in the tier of these pitchers at the moment. Zach Gallen, here's the thing. When he pitches, his numbers are great. He has a career ERA under 3, which is phenomenal, elite. That's like an ace tier pitcher, but he's not healthy a lot of times. He hasn't had a full season. I think the D-backs did a great job getting him from the Marlins. I think he has a lot of potential, and I think he can have a very good year, but right now I'll put him in good but not elite. Jordan Montgomery has been around for a little while, but in my opinion, I think he's just the definition of average, or maybe a little above average, solid. I'm going to put him in needs some work. He can join Logan Gilbert there. You know, I don't even think he's going to be one of those guys where the ceilings, I just don't think he's that type of pitcher that can be elite. Maybe he will be someday. Maybe he'll surprise me. But I just think he's the definition of a solid guy at the back end of your rotation. And needs some work doesn't mean you're not a good pitcher. It just means compared to the rest, you haven't shown me enough to be even considered a really good pitcher. I would say anyone in these top 3 tiers can be a top 3 pitcher in a great rotation, in a championship rotation. I don't think he is, unfortunately. Then we have Clayton Kershaw, who has had, I would say, the best career of anyone on this tier list. Future Hall of Famer, no doubt. We know how great he is. The question is, will he be healthy? And the answer is probably no. At some point, he will be injured. But look, is he past his prime? Yes, he's way past his best days. But when he's healthy, he is elite. I still think he's an ace. Those numbers are still phenomenal when he's healthy, and I'm just hoping he stays healthy for the most part this year at least. But yeah, it would just be disrespectful to put someone like Kersh not in the top 2 of tiers. Then we have Noah Syndergaard, who I'm gonna say he needs some work only because it's been so long since he's pitched. I want to see what he does. I seriously, I don't know who he is anymore. I don't know is he still Thor? We will see on the Angels this year, but he pitched like once last year. I think he missed all of 2020. 2019, he wasn't that good. I think he had like a 4+ ERA. So 3 straight years of not being Thor, not being elite. He needs to show me some. He's been so injury prone. Then we have Luis Garcia, who had a really good rookie season. He's got some things to show me, but I'll put him in the good but not elite. I think he had a really good rookie season, and it was a pretty, I think he started like 30 games, so he was very solid, and I think he's shown enough to, he does need some work, but I think he showed enough to be in the good tier. Sonny Gray, he's had one of the more inconsistent careers I think I've ever seen. He's had years where he's looked like a bona fide ace. Then he's had years where he's had like a 4+ ERA and not been very good, and last year was one of those years where he wasn't very good. I don't know. He's on a new team with the Twins. Don't be fooled by the Reds hat. He's on the Twins, if you didn't know. I'm going to say he's good but not elite, but you just never know with Sonny Gray. This is a year-to-year thing. Maybe he has a great year this year, or next year he's in the ace conversation. I don't know. Why is John Means here for this? There's 2 John Means, guys. John Means is on here twice. Whoever created this list, I don't know what you're doing, bud. John Means was already on here. Okay, we'll just leave him there. Marcus Stroman, he's another one of those like Sonny Grays where it's some years he's really good and some years he's not as good. I would say he's good but not elite. He's actually kind of like another Sonny Gray, kind of an undersized right-handed pitcher with great stuff, great strikeout stuff, who's had great years and not great years, and still has a lot to prove on a new team with the Cubs. So yeah, I would say he's good but not elite. Alex Wood on the Giants had a nice bounce back year, kind of inconsistent as well. You know what? This is going to be weird, but I think Alex Wood needs some work, and I'm going to tell you why. He's just so inconsistent. Some years he's horrible. 2020, when he was on the Dodgers, he was so pathetic with a +6+ ERA. If I'm the Dodgers, I try to get that ring back. That's how bad he was. He didn't deserve that ring. Giants, he had a very solid year last year, but then Reds, he was awful the year before. But then he was good on the Dodgers. Then he was bad on the wherever else he was on the Braves. I don't know. He needs to prove. He needs more to prove. I can't even tell you if he's a very good starting pitcher. I think he's good, maybe pretty good. I don't know. We'll see this year. German Marquez, he needs some work, but I would say he's good but not elite because I love he's reliable. I think that's the good word for him because he's going to get you 200 innings most years or close to it. And look, he's in Coors Field, so cut him some slack. Okay, those numbers, maybe the ERA is almost 4 some years, but he's had some sub-4, mid-3 ERA years in Coors Field, thrown 200 innings, had great strikeout rates, won a lot of games, so I give that guy some credit. I think he's a good starting pitcher. Adam Wainwright, the old man, you know what? He's an ace, because last year he was great. Talk about volume. I love the volume. He had volume last year, and he's just so reliable every year. And last year he had one of his best years at age 30, or he was 40 last year. He'll be 41 at some point this year. So I think he's an ace. I got to respect Waino like that. And this year for the Cardinals with Waino, Pujols, and Yachty, that's an interesting storyline. So we'll see how he does this year. I'm curious to see. John Gray needs some work because, yes, he was in Coors Field for his entire career, but he wasn't even nearly as good as Marquez, in my opinion. I think he has a lot to prove. He needs work. He can prove it, though, this year on the Rangers. Started opening day, but he did just go to the IL, so I'm hoping he comes back soon, but he's got a much better opportunity to prove that he's good in Texas, so we will see how he does, but I still think he needs some work. So guys, we have a pretty balanced tier list here. We have at least 5 pitchers in each tier. Guys, definitely comment what you think. This was tough because, we just don't know how these pitchers are going to do this year, and a lot of these are close calls. So just let me know where you agree with me, where you disagree with me. Comment your opinions. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're a baseball fan or football or basketball fan. That's what we do on this channel. We talk about those 3 sports. So thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoy this baseball season like I'm going to, and I'll see you guys in the next video.